These parents know what Halloween is really about, having an excuse to put your kids in amazing costumes. The people on this list have waited their whole lives to become parents just so they could dress their kids up for Halloween. Seriously, these costumes must have been planned while these babies were still in the womb. 9 months is a long time to come up with a stellar Halloween costume, and these parents didn't waste any of that time. Keep reading to see some of the most creative and clever Halloween costume ideas for kids. Maybe you'll even get some ideas for your own little trick-or-treaters. Who doesn't love crispy dough topped with gooey cheese and delectable toppings? This kid is a slice off the old pie. That kid looks pretty comfy in his pizza slice costume, but mom doesn't look like she's going to have much fun carrying around that giant pizza all night. Maybe she'll ditch the costume for trick-or-treating, but throw it on for the photo ops. Do you think she made this pizza costume herself? If so, nice job, Mom. This kid doesn't look old enough to watch Silence of the Lambs. Let's just hope that he has no idea who Hannibal Lecter is, and he thinks he's just dressing up as a prisoner or something. Even though this costume might be a bit mature for this kid, it does look like a good way to keep your kid from running off during those busy Halloween nights. Just roll him up to the door, have him ask for candy, and then roll him away. Not only did these parents squeeze their kid into a lobster costume, but they also squeezed their kid in a lobster costume into a stainless steel cooking pot. It seems like babies put up with a lot to make their parents smile on Halloween. He was probably only in the pot for the time it took to take this photo, but he doesn't look so happy about the prospect of being cooked. Dad's chef costume really ties this whole look together. These parents know that their kid is strong because the sperm that made it to the egg had to be the fastest and strongest of them all. Let's just hope that when this kid grows up and sees this photo, he isn't too embarrassed. At least he'll know that his parents had a good sense of humor. What about the egg cell that it took to make this kid, though? We think the egg cell should get some credit in this Halloween costume. This is a great way to make an Elliot costume if you don't want to carry a whole bicycle around all night. You really only need the bicycle handles and a basket. The Extraterrestrial is one of the most beloved blockbuster movies of all time, and this dad just wanted to share his love of the film with his baby. That kid looks very happy to be carried around in a basket for all of Halloween. So, if I want to order something this cute from a Starbucks, do I ask for a tall, a grand, or a Venti? This is a new level of latte art. This kid looks almost exactly like a Starbucks drink. The only thing that's missing is a misspelled name written on her side in Sharpie. Those whipped cream frills are just too cute. If you know your way around a sewing machine, this costume doesn't look like it's too difficult to make. All you need for the mom's costume is some black clothes and a green apron. This costume is great because it incorporates a wearable baby carrier. Now you and your baby can be Halloween ready, and you can have your arms free. This is a great way to incorporate a very little baby into a Halloween costume. We love that the spider is wearing a little bow. She's creepy, but she's still fashionable. If you don't feel like tying a spider web to your wrist, you could just wear a shirt with a spider web pattern on it. We love how many moms and dads are incorporating baby carriers into their Halloween costumes. This mom just draped a piece of striped fabric over her baby carrier and made a little popcorn hat for her baby. We know you're technically not supposed to bring outside snacks into a movie theater, but we think these two might be able to sneak their way into a Halloween horror flick. This mom is truly a mother of dragons. She took some inspiration from Daenerys Targaryen and dressed her triplets up as Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. That's right, this mom has triplets and she still managed to make this awesome costume. You parents with only one baby out there have no excuse. Take a cue from this dragon queen and get creative on October 31st. Halloween could always use another Khaleesi. Those babies are way too cute in their dragon costumes. This dad could have dressed up as a Ghostbuster and dressed his kid up as a ghost, but he chose to dress his kid up as an even more iconic Ghostbusters character. Who could forget the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? It's the least scary yet still somehow scary Halloween costume imaginable. We've already seen a Back to the Future costume, and now this. How many more 80 seconds references are we going to find on this list? Babies kind of look like round puffy balls anyway, so it makes sense to dress your kid up as a lost volleyball with a red handprint on it. Well, it makes about as much sense as any of the other costumes on this list. This costume looks like it has some extra padding in it, so this kid is going to be extra protected this Halloween. Just don't let this baby get lost at sea or anything. We all know about that famous scene in Star Wars where Darth Vader reveals that he's actually Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker's father. Well, if he's Luke's father, that naturally means that he's Leia's father too. Leia isn't there for that big reveal moment, though. This dad used his Halloween costume to give Leia the moment with her father that she deserved. Leia looks a little confused, but you would be too if you learned that your father was the leader of the dark side. This little dude might not be old enough for his own motorcycle, but he's well on his way to getting a big wheel to take around town. For this guy, it's only the finest in name brand transportation. This is the glimpse into the future that we could all use when we're young. This little man is going to know he can rock a nice goatee, just so long as he can grow one. Do you think this kid had anything to do with the creation of his Halloween costume at all? We're not sure if he's even seen Napoleon Dynamite. Something tells us that mom was probably the mastermind behind this whole operation. She does make a pretty convincing Deb. Can you believe that Napoleon Dynamite came out in 2004? Has it really been that long since we had canned meat in our heels? This costume is just a testament to this movie's longevity. This creative dad decided to dress up with his kid for Halloween. He and his baby dressed up as Dr. Evil and Mini-Me from Austin Powers. This dad knows that his baby isn't going to be Minnie forever, so he has to take advantage of his small stature while he still can. Also, this dad and his baby are both bald at the moment. If he had waited a year to do this costume, his baby would have probably grown a full head of hair. This pirate and parrot costume combo has been a Halloween classic for parents and children for years. If you don't feel like stepping outside the box and dressing your kid up as a literal fart, then there's no shame in going with a tried and true idea. Chewbacca and Han Solo are best friends in the Star Wars universe, but this dad decided to go with a less expected pairing. Maybe they were out of Han Solo costumes at the costume store. Either way, we still think this is adorable. Who knew that a tiny Chewbacca would be so endearing? Chewbacca can't talk and neither can this baby, so in a way, this costume is perfect for him. Now he just has to learn how to make those iconic Chewbacca noises. This mom found another way to turn a wearable baby carrier into a fantastic Halloween costume. When you incorporate a baby carrier into your costume, that means that your hands can be free to collect candy, because isn't getting free candy what Halloween is all about? It looks like that baby octopus is using all 8 of her tentacles to grip onto her snorkeling mother for dear life. It's got to be hard to walk around in those flippers, though. This photo was taken in 2016 when Pokémon Go was at the height of its popularity. These parents decided to turn Halloween into a family affair by dressing up as Ash and Misty and dressing their baby up as Pikachu. We're not sure who that fourth wheel is who's dressed up as Brock, but we're not mad at him. Sometimes people who don't have kids want to get in on all of that adorable Halloween fun too. Can you blame the guy? I kind of want to join them as an Eve, or maybe as one of the members of Team Rocket. Have you ever seen somebody dress up as a literal fart before? Farts aren't exactly something you can see, so the fact that these parents managed to nail this costume is even more impressive. We love the addition of the blue megaphone. This fart is loud and proud. There are no silent but deadly farts in this neighborhood. This has to be one of the most hilarious and grossest Halloween costumes to date. A plus, mom and dad, your kid can't walk by himself yet. No problem. Just incorporate a wagon or a stroller into your joint Halloween costume. This dad decided to turn his kid's wagon into an epic human-propelled DeLorean. Do kids nowadays even know what Back to the Future is? This dad is going to make sure that his kids know everything there is to know about movies from the 80 seconds. He's also clearly a very accomplished costume maker. That car wagon must have taken hours to make. This dad found an ingenious way to dress up for Halloween without really dressing up. He's basically just wearing a normal outfit and holding a big net. It's his daughter who's all decked out in skunk attire. Still, these two look like the perfect pair. We love to see parents and children making lasting Halloween memories together. This is definitely a Halloween that this kid is never going to forget. What an adorable little stinker. We love how scale plays into these costumes. That baby is the perfect size to be King Kong in relation to Dad as the Empire State Building. We just hope that Dad doesn't tip over with that heavy and precariously balanced costume on his head. Look how the baby is holding on to Dad's costume. It's almost like he's actually trying to climb the Empire State Building. We think they get some extra points for realism for that. These parents turned Halloween into a family affair. Mom is dressed up as a beehive, Dad is dressed up as a beekeeper, and the 2 little kids are dressed up as bees. The older kid is even holding a pail of honey. This is how you use Halloween as a family bonding experience. These kids aren't going to put up with family Halloween costumes for much longer, so you have to take advantage of the fact that they're still willing to participate in this magnificent idea. This dad put a lot of work into creating a killer robot costume for himself and his infant son. Now it looks like dad is a giant robot who's being controlled by a baby. This costume is super impressive, and it actually takes advantage of the size difference between this father and son duo. Building your own costume has its perks. If you're handy with a glue gun, you should give it a try. The only problem is that people are going to expect an even better costume from this dad next year. Okay, are my eyes deceiving me, or did these parents actually stuff this little girl's onesie to make it look like she had some extra assets? Nothing about this costume is even remotely acceptable. Again, this is probably a silly joke, but parents, please leave your infants out of your crude humor. We know that Hooters has decent chicken wings, but so does every other sports bar in the world. We do think that this baby's headband is cute, though. As if toddlers weren't terrifying enough already, these parents thought it would be a good idea to dress their kid up as Chucky for Halloween. Now, this costume is actually amazing. Those blood splatters look very real, and this kid actually looks like Chucky. That's what makes this costume all the more frightening. That and that very realistic looking fake knife. This kid is going to give trick-or-treaters some serious nightmares. He doesn't even know how scary he is. We've seen kids dress up as Harry Potter before, but we love how these two are dressed up as the moment that Hagrid drops Harry off at 4 Privet Drive. It makes sense for dad to dress up as Hagrid if his baby is going to be Harry Potter, because Harry and Hagrid actually interacted when Harry was a baby. Maybe when this kid gets older, he and his dad will dress up as Sirius Black and teenage Harry. Well, this is definitely a costume that we've never seen before. We love how this parent took a regular store-bought tiger costume and turned it into something super creative. He's not just a tiger now, he's Tony the Tiger. Now mom gets to be a part of all of the Halloween fun too. This baby looks too young to eat candy though, which just means that his parents are going to have more than enough sweets to snack on for the next few months. This family costume is absolutely adorable. This kid is dressed up as a mouse in a mousetrap, and his parents are dressed up as exterminators. We love that the mousetrap is basically a stroller so that these parents can push their kid around the neighborhood for trick-or-treating. It's great when a stroller can be part of the costume and not just a regular pushchair. Also, it makes sense because when a kid is in a stroller, he's kind of trapped in there. This little boy looks like he has no idea why his parents are laughing so hard at him in this costume. The ironic thing is that if his parents had actually used contraception, this kid wouldn't even be here. He's dressing up as the alternative to his own existence. Even though this isn't exactly appropriate, we still think it's better than some of the other costumes on this list. At least this kid isn't wearing something that he can recognize as inappropriate. These parents decided to dress their baby up as Lieutenant Dan Taylor from Forrest Gump. Yeah, it's great that they incorporated the stroller into the costume, and this kid is pretty darn cute. But is it politically correct to dress your kid up as a veteran and an amputee, even if that veteran and amputee is fictional? Someone's probably going to take issue with it, but for now, we're just loving how creative this idea is. These parents didn't want to waste their time with a cutesy Halloween costume. They know that being scary is what Halloween is all about. That means no unicorn costumes for this kid. He's going to be a zombie for his first Halloween. His parents even gave him a gross-looking severed hand to nibble on. It's pretty gross, but this kid is so cute that he's even adorable with all of that fake blood on his face. We've already seen one potted lobster costume on this list, but is there a limit on how many adorable kids in lobster costumes we can see in 1 hour? Nope, bring on the lobsters, the more the merrier. This kid just wants to munch on the side of the pot he's in, which makes sense because he's a baby. Maybe he's just hungry and he wants a taste of some delicious lobster tail. Are you more of a claw person or a tail person? Well, this costume is certainly questionable. Dad isn't being a very good influence on his son with this blatant promotion of cigarettes and alcohol. But then again, he's not giving his kid a cigarette. He's just dressing his kid up as a pack of cigarettes. That has to be better, right? Nobody ever got lung cancer from dressing up as a pack of cigarettes. This little boy looks like he doesn't have a clue what's going on, which is definitely a good thing. This may be all in good fun, but we're not so sure that it's a good idea to dress your kid up like a pole dancer. I mean, no disrespect to all of the pole dancers out there, but this little girl just looks too young to be engaging in this kind of behavior. Let's just hope that these parents are making a silly joke and that they don't actually encourage their baby to pole dance. Where do you even find fishnet stockings small enough for a baby? This baby is dressed up as Mr. T from the A-Team. Turning a winter hat into a baby mask is a great way to get a costume on your kid without painting his face and getting him all messy. This method is super effective and super creative, and you don't have to worry about face paints irritating your child's skin. Kids grow up so fast, but we didn't think they grew up quite as fast as this little girl. Yesterday she was a year old, and today she looks like she's in her 80s. This costume idea is great because both babies and old people can use walkers to help them move around. Maybe this costume will even teach her how to start walking on her own. This baby is dressed up as Ron Burgundy, Will Ferrell's character in the hit comedy film Anchorman. These parents took this costume over the top by fully recreating Ron Burgundy's news desk. Now it looks like this baby is actually delivering the news. He doesn't quite have the signature Ron Burgundy hair yet, but that will come with time. You stay classy, trick-or-treaters, and give these parents some extra candy for all their hard work. This baby is dressed up as Walter White from Breaking Bad. Specifically, he's dressed up as Walter White in the scene where he loses his pants in the desert. That totally makes sense as a baby costume because babies never wear pants. This kid probably won't be allowed to watch Breaking Bad for a long time, but that doesn't mean that his parents can't enjoy this very creative Halloween costume that they created. Those little baby loafers are